Hey, my Math 110 students, congratulations on completing your very first week. So the bad news is every other week has a test and your Module 1 test is due this Monday. So let me just walk you through all the steps to taking the test. Hopefully the tests are not going to be so bad. Keep asking your questions in the discussion board, during SI, send me emails. You guys are doing great. I've been in touch with Julie and she just says great things about you guys, so that's awesome. Keep up the good work. So if you go under Start Here in Content, like everything else, and at the end of Module 1, you see your Module 1 test. And under there, you have two documents. You have your test scratch paper, and then you have the actual test. So the actual test, of course, is timed. You have exactly 1 hour to complete it. So let's not click on that one right away. Also, there's a description that tells you about when they are open, because that's the big question. You know when they're due, but you don't necessarily know when they're open. So for you guys, I have opened all of your tests for 72 hours. I don't know why I wrote that twice. For 72 hours. So you have 3 days to complete each of those tests. My gosh, I've done so much updating in D2L. So each test is going to be open for 3 days. So 2 days prior to all of the due dates that are listed on your calendar, it will open up. So that is midnight on March 28th for this one. So that is the Saturday right now. And it closes on March 30th at basically midnight, so 11:59 p.m. So you have all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday to complete that test. And just out of consistency, all of your tests are going to be open for 3 days, just so you can keep track of that. Okay, so put that on your calendar. You don't have to do it on the due date. You have the due date and the 2 days prior. So also before we click on the test, we want to make sure that we have all the supplies we need. We want scratch paper. And I gave you this not so fancy document for scratch paper. So if you open this up and download it and print it off, the first page, just say it's Math 110, Module 1 test, and it's due by this Monday. And at 11:59, no late papers will be accepted. And it's the honor code policy from the student handbook. So of course it just says no cheating. I'm not going to use any other resources. I'm going to actually do it on my own. Let me see. Let me go down. And then, so yeah, you just need to sign this. You're allowed to use a TI 83 or 84, which is our graphing calculator, the one that most people use. Of course, you can still use a Casio, but it can't have a computer algebra system that's going to solve everything for you. So for example, a TI 89 will actually solve equations, so you cannot use that. That would be considered an honor code violation. So print and sign and date. And then the rest of it is, like I said, not very fancy, but just keeping your work organized. So I separated into little boxes, so just say number 1 and then do your work, and number 2 and do your work. And there are 14 questions on this first test. Tests are pretty similar in length, and you can expect exactly what is on the homework, right? You'll have a question on combinations, on composition, on function notation, piecewise functions, both graphing and evaluating piecewise functions, simplifying complex numbers, increasing, decreasing constant in graphs, maxima, minima in graphs, transformations. So those will all be graphical, just like on your homework. Finding the inverse of a function. So expect everything that you've seen on your homework is kind of just like a combination of all of that. Okay, so go back and look at your homework if you want to. You can't decrease your homework grade after a due date. You can decrease your homework grade before the due date. But it's all due and submitted, so go back and look at your homework if you want to. But also you have the review center. So let me go back to content real quick. And Review Center for all tests. If you click on that, okay, then this is a Newton link. And again, it's for all tests. So for 1 through 6, you can click on your Test Review Center and Newton will help you out in case you're struggling. So let me go back to the Module 1, because that's what we are most interested in right now. So you got your scratch paper first. If you don't have a printer, then that's totally fine. So you can obviously make this scratch paper on your own. It didn't really take me all that much time, right? So if you don't have a printer, I do still need you to write some sort of honor statement at the top. So just write I, and then fill in the blank with your name, agree to the honor statement. So you can still look through it in that test scratch paper, but you can just write it at the top if you don't want to actually print it off. And then for all the other pages, just make your little 2x3 squares, and just make sure that you're labeling them nice and clearly, okay? So that I can grade it a little bit easier. After completing the test, then you need to upload it to the Dropbox. So the Dropbox is up here under assignments and then Dropbox. You have Dropboxes for all of your tests, okay, including your midterm and your final exam, okay? So just click on this and then you can upload your scratch work in your honor code statement. Okay, back to content one more time. So of course, once you do your scratch work, once you print off your scratch work, right, make sure you have a calculator, make sure you have your pencil, you've got your scratch work to work on, right, get rid of all your distractions, lock the door, right, put your kids somewhere else, and it's going to, the time limit is 1 hour. Probably won't even take you the full hour, but leave yourself the full hour just in case, okay? And here is the link. It's going to work just like all the other Newton links, and it'll, look just like Newton, so any way that they wanted you to type something in Newton, of course, they're still going to want you to type it in the same way that you did in your homework on this test. Okay, so good luck, good luck. I was able to actually pick the questions that are in the test, so I do think that they're reasonable questions. Every once in a while in the homework, Newton will kind of throw out a crazy question, but on the test, I can choose a specific question, so I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. I think it's a pretty fair test. Of course, this is our first time doing Newton testing, so I'm a little bit nervous, but let me know how it goes. Hopefully it's going to be a good start to all of your grades for the semester. So good luck, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. If you haven't posted to the discussion board yet, make sure you do that because that also closes on Monday at the end of the day, okay? Ideally, each module we should be posting questions and answers and tips and helping one another throughout the discussion board, but if you haven't done that, then at least do that by the end of the day on Monday. So it's whenever the test is due. Good luck.